Look at the law of cosines. So we can use these to find sides and angle measures if we are given a side angle side or three sides. So I'm going to give three formulas. They're all the same thing. It's just rearranging the letters. So in a triangle here, A, B, C, and little a, little b, little c corresponding to the opposite sides from the angles, we could have a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc times cosine of a. So all that means is you have one side squared, you have the squaring of the other two sides, times 2 times the two sides, and then cosine of the angle that corresponds with the original side. I don't know if that makes any sense, but when I give the other two formulas, it's going to be the same idea. So I'm going to do b squared next. So that means I use the other two sides, a and c, and then 2 times a times c times cosine of b. And then when I do it again for c, I'm going to use the other two letters. So we can do alphabetical. So a squared plus b squared minus 2ab times cosine of c. So it just depends on what you have. And I guess really how you label your triangle, which I guess there's no specific way you have to label it. So here's what I do. I have a triangle, and I just start at the left, and I go A, B, C. And then I'm going to label the little sides. So across from B is little b, across from A is little a, across from C is little c. So because I need to find x or little b, I can use that formula there. So I'll just rewrite it. B squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times cosine of b. I'm going to fill in everything I know. So x squared equals 28 squared plus 16 squared minus 2 times 28 times 16 times cosine of 127 degrees. All right, so I can get these numbers. So x squared equals 1040 minus 896 cosine of 127. And then I can square root both sides. And now when I take the square root, I usually get plus and minus, but we're dealing with a side length, and a side length will not be negative. And so when I take the square root, I get 39.7 inches. Right? So let's do it again. A, B, C, A, B, C. I'm missing this one, so I can use the formula a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. And I'll fill in what I need. So x squared equals 25 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 25 times 12 times cosine of a, which is 36 degrees. So similar idea, I can get some of these numbers. So 769 minus 600 cosine of 36. And then I can square root both sides, taking the positive since we're talking about side length. And I get 16.8 miles. All right, sometimes we won't have a picture and we'll just be given some information. So we can draw a picture. So here's a triangle, A, B, C. The measure of angle C is 88. AC is 22 feet. BC is 11.5 feet. Find AB. So that's little c. So c squared equals b squared plus a squared minus 2ab cosine of c. So c squared equals 22 squared plus 11.5 squared minus 2 times 22 times 11.5 times cosine of 88. So we get 616.25 minus 506 cosine 88. Square root both sides, and c is going to equal 24.5 feet. Alright, so that's finding side lengths. Let's find some angles. So the formulas don't change. We just have to do a couple extra algebra steps to solve the formula. So let's see, I can label my triangle as A, B, C, A, B, C. So I need the cosine C1. So c squared equals b squared plus a squared minus 2ab, or ba, doesn't really matter, cosine of c. So c is actually 10, so 10 squared equals 11 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 11 times 13, cosine of c. So 10 squared is 100. 11 squared is 121. 13 squared is 169. 2 times 11 times 13 is 286. Cosine c. So now I need to solve for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine some like terms. So does that give me 290? And now I want to isolate this as much as possible, so I'm going to subtract 290 from both sides. And then divide both sides by negative 286. So then cosine c is equal to, and we'll just round to, or just use the first 4, 6,643. And then to get c by itself, we can take the inverse cosine of both sides. And c is going to give me 48.4 degrees. Alright. Let's get another one. Let's switch it up. Let's do A, B, C. So, A, B, and C. So let's see, I need a cosine A, so I need to start with A squared. A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. So 17 squared equals 18 squared plus 30 squared minus 2 times 18 times 30 times cosine of A. So let's see, what is this? This is 289. And let's see, 18 squared plus 300 squared is 1224. Minus 1080 cosine A. So then I will subtract that to get negative 935 equals negative 1080 cosine A. So we'll divide both sides by 1080 to get cosine A is 0.8657. And then we can do the inverse cosine of both sides, and we'll get that angle A measures 30 degrees. All right, again, we might not have a picture, so I will draw one. RST. RS is 9, ST is 14, and RT is 6. Find the measure of angle R. So RST t. So this will be r squared equals s squared plus t squared minus 2st cosine of r. So 14 squared equals 9 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 9 times 6 times cosine of r. So 196 is 81 plus 36 minus 2 times 6 times 9, so 12, 12 and 9 is 108. Let's see, 196, 81 plus 36 is 117. Subtract 117 from both sides. So 79 equals negative 108 cosine r. Divide both sides by negative 108 and get cosine of r equals negative 0.7315. Do the inverse cosine of both sides to get the measure of angle r to be 137 degrees. All right. Let's look at one word problem. How about we'll just do the middle one. We have some figure skaters. So they start from the same location. Okay, let's say they start here. Bruno skates 29 feet at a bearing of 55 degrees, 9 minutes southwest. So let's see, north, east, south, west, like this. The bearing part means it's this angle here is, and we'll convert 55 and 9 out of 60, and that gives me 55.15, I believe. Yep. And it goes 29 feet that way. The other skater is going southeast, so it's going the other direction, and their bearing is going to be this one here. So let's see, 16 plus 51 over 60 is 16.85. And how she went 18 feet. How far are they apart? Well, one's here, so we want to find this distance here. So A, B, C, little b, little a, little c. So b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2 times a times c times cosine of b. So b squared equals 18 squared plus 29 squared minus 2 times 18 times 29 times cosine of the addition of those two, because I need the whole angle. So 55.15 plus 16.85. Let's see, 8, 9, 10, 12, 72. So cosine 72. And then I can take the square root of both sides, and I'll get 29 feet. And alrighty, there we go.